Hello, everybody. I forgot to do the thing. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Best of Five.
I'm not that important.
Yeah, you are. You absolutely are. If it wasn't for you, this show would not exist. Literally. Welcome to another week of Best of Five. This week on the show, we're going to talk about the recap. We're going to talk about a new Street Fighter. Steve, I was thinking about this. And for the entire lifespan of this show, the only Street Fighter game was Street Fighter V.
Well, yeah, because...
Even in Best of 3, it was still Street Fighter V.
No, it was Street Fighter 4.
Was it Street Fighter 4?
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, we did the interview with Combo Fiend, the recorded interview, on launch day.
Oh, okay. Then I take that back. Best of 5, its entire lifespan has been with Street Fighter V, and for the first time in this show's history, Best of 5, we have a new game that's been announced, and it's coming earlier than I think we expect it to be. Next, we're going to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ announcement, quote unquote. We're going to talk about SNK's unnamed title twice.
We're doing some adjustments here. I forgot.
It's all good. And then, Steve, can you do it before we even get started with everything else? We need to have a resolution to all of the bets that took place over the weekend.
Steve, I was thinking we could do that after the recap.
Steve, we need to know who won the pizza bet. Preferably sooner rather than later.
Well, we can do that.
Okay. Who won the bets?
If we're talking about the bets between you and me?
Mm-hmm.
That would...
This has been sitting in front of me this entire time. It's been torture.
Yeah. I am heated about this for two reasons. One, I had a commanding lead going into day 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it all, like, literally the first 4 matches went against me. And secondly, best of 3, best of 5, no matter what, every time we have had a competition for predictions for Capcom Cup, end of the season, I have either won outright or tied for the win. Every single time. This is the first time I lost in the entire history of this show.
Welcome to the new era, Steve. New Street Fighter, new winner.
This is not good. This is not good. I do not agree with this. So I am salty.
This is a pizza from a place called Desano's, and they have Neapolitan-style pizza. So this was a margarita with pepperoni on it. It's amazing.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I really am glad that my disappointment and saltiness brings you pleasure.
My significant other also said thank you for the pizza because this was our lunch/dinner.
I'm getting dunked on by people that aren't even on the show.
I should genuinely thank you for the pizza. You've provided us with food today, Steve.
Oh, God.
Wait, hold on. I got another slice.
No, God.
I'll do that one during the show. Anyway, now that I've scarfed down an entire slice of pizza on the show, on camera, Steve, I believe it is time for us to get to our recap, don't you?
I believe it is that
time. Here we go.
Let's hit it up. We actually had...
Oh, I forgot to change the thing. Sorry.
That's okay. We actually had 2 events going on. 2 season finales. One was the Dragon Ball games, the Battle Hour. This was the replacement event for the DBFZ World Championship. So similar to last season, each region had 4 players. They were split up into different teams. And 1 player from each region would represent their team. They'd play round robin. And it was the green team who ended up victorious. That squad consisting of Reynald, Fenrich, Wawa, and Mamba Lamba. Fenrich and Wawa each went 3-0 in their groups. Each went 6-1 in games. The best record for the entire competition. And Wawa was actually named Event's Most Outstanding Player, so congratulations to him. Red Squad, Apology Man, Hero Hero, Yasha, and Double LL finishing second. Gray team led by Zane, Eco Angela, and Nitro in third. And bringing up the rear is the blue squad of Cloud 805, Oblivion, Shanks, and Legendary Pred. But of course, much of the attention from this past week was on the CPT Season Final. These were the first to 5 exhibition matches for Street Fighter V. Each of these matches were for $5,000 where they were illegally able to. So the Brazilian matches unfortunately were not. But most of these were big money matches. Jabheat is your winner from the South African region, 5-0 over Billy Date. Travis Styles, a 5-1 victory over Panda. DCQ, 5-3 over Jo Young Ho. Oswald, 5-2 over Chuan. Jamie with the 5-3 win over Papoy in the Russia match. And South America's victory went to Nero the Boxer, 5-3 win over Frozen. Kicking it to day 2, Momi started things off with a dominant 5-0 over Takamura. Kusanagi, 5-1 winner over fellow Mexican player Gama. Mena RD, showing who's boss of the Dominican Republic, 5-1 win over Jimmy DR. Gust, the last-minute entrant, a 5-3 win over Ronaldinho in an exciting match. Big Bird is the Bird Battle winner, 5-2 over Angry Bird. Infiltration coming from behind to beat NL 5-4 in one of just 2 sets to go the distance the entire weekend. And Infectious.jpg 5-2 over the 4 Phils. And then day 3 rounded things off. Phenom, dominant win over Reichman's Barnett, 5-1. Rob TV, 5-0 over Brian F. That one kind of hurt to watch. That was a speed run. Mr. Crimson, equally dominant, 5-0 over Kills You. Chris CCH, 5-1 over Nephew. Higuchi with the 5-2 win over Mago. Punk and Idom lived up to the hype, 5-4 in favor of Punk in a match that went right down to the wire. And your final match of the season saw Kawano beat the legend Daigo 5-3 in a very exciting match. Let's take a look at what we can expect to watch this weekend, because we've got a lot going on. Winter Brawl 3D taking place on Friday and Saturday. 2-day event, so be sure you're keeping an eye out on that. Also, Friday night into Saturday morning, you've got the top 8 of Arc Revo Japan and Korea. That was the tournament that played down from pools 2 weeks ago. That will wind things up this weekend. You've got Toshinsai to look forward to if you want to catch some Guilty Gear Strive action. And you've also got Vortex Gallery Winter Guided. This is a 3-week series of tournaments run by the Vortex Gallery crew. This week is all Guilty Gear Strive, and you'll see action from all over the world on those 5 channels. So be sure to catch that this weekend. And that was your Best of 5 weekend recap.
Good job, Steve.
Woo!
That was exciting. While you were doing that, I ate the other slice. So thanks again. Appreciate the pizza.
I'm glad. You know what else is exciting?
What is exciting, Steve?
Seeing Doc FU in chat. Doc Fugu subscribing for 13 months in a row. We appreciate the support all the way from Japan.
This is nice timing. He says that's because you're meant to be here. Thank you for all the support and everything that you do.
If you're ever curious about things going on in the Japanese FGC, especially around Tokyo, and especially things like Street Fighter League, Doc Fugu has got you covered. Follow him on Twitter. Definitely worth it.
Nice. Steve, we just went over the CPT results. Something else.
We have one more result to go over.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was the contest.
Yes.
Yes, because we had people submit their guesses for the final day of the CPT matches. And the winner, we will have to contact after the show because I don't see them in chat right now, but Kwanzai.
Ooh, the man, the myth, the legend.
Got 6 out of 7 to lead all players, including you, who somehow submitted a...
yeah, I was curious. How'd I do?
I think you got 4.
Dang. So
yeah.
So I did better in the bet between you and I than I did. Okay, that's pretty funny. My brain is elsewhere. But hey,
so
congrats to Kwanzai, though.
Yeah, we will hit you up. Either after chat or after the show tonight or tomorrow to get you your pizza.
Free pizza coming Kwanzai's way. And not just because he's one of the first 10 subscribers to the show. Thanks, Kwanzai. We were giving back to the people, Steve. That's never a bad thing.
We're giving back to that one person.
I mean, they deserve it. They got it all right. Well, almost all right.
Almost all right, yeah.
Now, Steve, speaking of all right, right after the CPT ended, we got a couple of announcements, Steve, which we were all looking forward to.
We did. We got 2 big announcements as that countdown clock struck not quite 0 because they couldn't get the timing exactly right.
Yep.
But close enough for government work.
Yes.
Do we want to look at the first one?
Let's look at the first one first. Here it is. Now, this is immediately after stuff ended, so everybody thought that this was going to be the one, right? But then we hear the music and we see all this artwork, and people started going crazy. Darkstalkers, after being absent for what feels like 8 decades, since that other Darkstalkers remaster they made, is finally returned in a big way, Steve. It's VSAV 1, VSAV 2, every other version of Vampire Savior or Vampire Hunter, and Cyberbots, the best of the games.
Really? Cyberbots?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the best?
Cyberbots is the greatest, and they also added this one, Red Earth. Who would have thunk? Red Earth in 2022, baby.
Who knew? Like, I'm surprised Darkstalkers is not dead. Like, actually not dead at this point.
No, and, you know, if you are a VSAV fan, if you're a Darkstalkers fan, you better buy this thing, because that's how they gauge interest, baby. Look at this. They also have Pocket Fighter. Pocket Fighter is what got me into Street Fighter. I remember walking into an arcade in the mall with my dad when I was like 3 or 4 or 5 and seeing this and playing the hell out of it. And Super Puzzle Fighter. See me in Super Puzzle Fighter. I'm ready to take money matches. Bring it on. I'm the best Puzzle Fighter player on Earth. After Justin Wong.
Here comes the big one. Right? Well, not the concept art.
Oh, the design documents,
Not that.
Oh, but the BGM. EX settings. Who knows what that means?
Well, we all know what this setting means. Right out here. Oh, training mode.
That's important for stuff like Red Earth and Cyberbots. Those have never existed, as far as I know. Here it is. Rollback netcode.
There it is.
Oh, baby. Like I said, see me in Puzzle Fighter with rollback netcode. Also, see me in Pocket Fighter, too. Dude, that game is so good. It's like Power Stone, but 2D.
I've gotten bodied so many times, and I love it every time.
Dude, look at all of these Darkstalkers / VSAV games. There's 5 of them. This is a collection of 10 games, and 5 of them are Darkstalkers related. Woo! Capcom Fighting Collection, baby. June 24th, 2022.
That is an impressive collection. Obviously, it's tough. It's a tough sell sometimes when you do re-releases because if you only like a couple of the games, then if you're not a fan of Red Earth, you have to pick up Red Earth with this. Not everyone's into that, and B, even when a lot of people are into that, they may be so into that they're already playing it on Fightcade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited to see that they at least put rollback in there, because if you at least put forward an enjoyable product, and hopefully it's a good implementation of rollback, then you've got a fighting chance to make this work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too. Seeing them put rollback into these collections can only bode well for the future for some other things that got announced during this weekend. So I'm super excited, and there are a couple games in there that this is the first time that it's supported online play. Games like Pocket Fighter, games like Super Puzzle Fighter has had it, but like games like Hyper Fighting, games like Cyberbots. I still can't believe Cyberbots is in there, dude. I'm so excited. See my Jin online.
That's going to be the random thing that just gets you excited for the next 4 months. Like, we'll just be in the middle of a show, and you'll just be like, Cyberbots!
Dude, see
just
me in
out in the middle of
Cyberbots.
nothing.
Try that on my Jin. I'm also excited for Red Earth. I've never played Red Earth, but I've always seen sprites from it, and they look super cool. So I'm excited to give that a shot. Like Rick said, pick up a new fighting game this month. Granted, this comes out in June, so it'll be a couple months before we get to do that.
But you can pick up like 4 or 5 new ones at the same time. So
10.
On average, it works out.
It adds up, yeah. Steve, as exciting as this is and as amazing as this is, first of all, I'm actually just excited that they got VSAV on there, right? I'm a huge VSAV fan, but I haven't played the games. I love watching it. I love even just that's why I love Combo Breaker, because it's a huge VSAV event, right? Like, there's a lot of really good players that always go to Combo Breaker, and they always put on a show. That game is amazing to look at. Now we have a collection.
Yeah, they actually were able to bring out, I believe, 2019, the last year. They had one of the Japanese legends.
Mm-hmm.
The community put together like a GoFundMe to get him out to Combo Breaker, and they ran a Kumite with him, and it was fun to watch. I watched a little bit of that, and that game is just, when it's played at a high level, it is so fun to watch.
Dude, I remember watching, I think the Combo Breaker I went to was in 2016, 2017, maybe 2017. And I watched Flo and someone else, and Flo was playing the Yeti. And I was like, damn, this game does this? This is what this game is?
Will get you.
This is what this game is? It's like, whoa. It's really eye-opening, some of the crazy stuff you see in there. So I cannot wait to see that game be supported so that we can eventually get something else after Capcom is like, wait, people like VSAV? Dang, we need to do something about it. But Steve, that wasn't the only announcement.
That was not. There was one more. They had one more. Shall we hit it?
We shall. And after all the lights went off, this is what we got. Toes.
And Big Boy Ryu.
And Ninja, the streamer.
You ready?
and this song that sounds suspiciously like 50 Cent.
Oh man, there's a lot and that's all we got. Just
like
a little
that.
taste.
I like that announcer voice. Street Fighter 6. Now, after I saw that, I wound up like getting so excited about it that I made a YouTube video for the first time ever. I made I like really broke it down because there's a lot of people who were really upset about this trailer. They were like, "Man, we waited this countdown. All we got was a 30-second CGI trailer. Stop it! It's not a CGI trailer."
Well, first of all, that's probably the second biggest complaint about
We'll get to the main complaint.
lack
in just
of
a second.
news from the weekend.
Yeah, we'll get to the main complaints in just a second. But things that are important about this trailer, I'm even going to pull it back up to show it off. This is all in engine, right? This is probably what this game is going to look like when it releases. This is the RE engine. You can tell because some of the textures are really weird on some places, but they're amazing in other places, right? You could tell because of the particle effects. You could tell because of all the muscle deformation that they have. There is a lot of really, really cool stuff that's coming with this new direction they're taking, and I'm looking forward to see it. Now, the main things here that we got from this, aside from just seeing it in engine, is we saw, hopefully, the art direction that it's taking, right? Like, we see stuff like this popping up, right? We see stuff like this popping up. It's a little bit stretched out, but like this looks like it's out of a Kurosawa movie. It looks awesome.
See, Ryu's a wide boy in this. I've seen people theorize that it was a 4:3 video stretched to 16:9, and then they readjusted it, and some of his proportions look a little more realistic then, but then his head is really narrow, so I don't think that was the case. It's just a choice that they're making to make him a wide boy.
Yeah, and here's somebody mentioned this, and it made a lot of sense. Ryu is not. You're not supposed to see Ryu like eye to eye, front to front like this. You're supposed to see him from the side, right? He's facing like this way on the camera. So having his body that wide, it'll probably make a lot of sense when he's in stance, when we're looking at the game from a 2D plane.
Right, but Luke wasn't particularly wide.
No.
And we would be looking at him from the same stance.
Yeah, but Luke is also... Luke is also
I don't necessarily buy that.
Luke is what, like a 13-year-old, and Ryu's what, like a 60-year-old?
No. See, there's going to be questions about art direction, because we're going to be pouring over this thing, because they did say that there would be more news in June.
Mm-hmm. Right around you know what's funny? They didn't say June. They said summer. However, if the Capcom Fighting Collection is releasing on June 24th, we can only assume that that's when they're going to talk more about Street Fighter 6. It's probably going to be an event in June. What event is in June?
Well, I can tell you that there is a particular event on June 24th called CEO. And they typically have had announcements of some sort. Now, I'm not saying that it's for sure we're going to see something at CEO. But I would be surprised if we didn't, if Capcom did not have some sort of presence there.
Well, what got announced at CEO beforehand? Yuri and Injuri.
Yeah.
They announced characters in there before. And do we know when Evo is? Has that been announced yet? No, right?
No.
Okay.
That's still to be announced. Yeah.
Imagine if Evo and CEO are in the same weekend. That'd be awful. I would hate that.
That would. Why?
Yeah, that'd be really bad. Yeah. Look, the fact that this Capcom collection, this Capcom fighting collection. What's it called? Capcom Fighting Collection.
Fighting Collection.
Okay. That's a bizarre name, but we'll roll with it. The Capcom Fighting Collection comes out on the 24th. CEO is the weekend of the 24th. It's the 24th a Sunday?
24th is a Friday. So it starts on the 24th.
Interesting. Also, today is the 24th. I'm starting to see breadcrumbs, Steve. But all joking aside, maybe they're gonna announce it on Friday night, and then they're probably gonna have. Dude, could you imagine if they had location tests like they did with Ultra? That'd be cool. With Ultra Street Fighter, I mean, Street Fighter 4. But anyway, with all this said, new Street Fighter, it's exciting. It's something we all knew was coming, but now we got it, and it looks cool. 50 cents in it.
My big takeaway from this is a little different, because if you'll remember when Luke got announced, do you remember who I said he looked like?
Jake Paul.
He looked like the lost Paul brother. He looked like a boxer trying to fight a YouTuber. They have shifted the appearance of Luke a bit. If you can pull him back up. Yeah, see, young-looking guy. The scars are kind of hidden in this shot, but very muscular, very MMA-style presentation. Very wild hair with wild, darker, little darker hair. Who is this based off of? Because it's no longer the long-lost Paul brother.
No. Steve, you go with yours first, and I have mine next.
No, you show yours first, because I put the picture in there.
I have my picture, too.
Okay. So for me,
go for it.
I think it's clear as day to myself and to others that the new inspiration for Luke is AEW star Hook.
Can I see it?
I feel like with the hair, the MMA style presentation, I feel like it's there.
I will say his shoulder, Hook's shoulder, and the chain around his neck do make it look very similar.
Exactly.
I see that. I can see that. Now, Steve, I'm going to counter this with another take. As much as I kind of see what you're going for here, I think this is incorrect. I don't think it is Hook. And here's the thing, Steve. First, when they announced Luke, they based him off of an influencer, right? The big Jake Paul. Or Logan Paul. Whichever one looked like him. I don't know. I get the two confused all the time.
One of the Pauls.
Yeah. The one that was... they're both
Paul.
boxing. Robert Paul. I mean... So... When they redesigned them with another influencer in mind, Steve. They're trying to really reach that broad audience. And do you know who they designed this man after, Steve?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's none other than Ninja. Oh,
no!
That got really this photo got really stretched out.
Ninja's a wide boy. He's a wide boy.
Oh, it's Ryu. But no, it is indeed Ninja. I really wish this photo wasn't stretched out, but same hair, kind of, same face structure, same weird smile. It's Ninja. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that got stretched out. What the hell?
We'll have to agree to disagree.
Okay, fine. With that said, though, I just want to take a look at Ryu real quick because, damn, this shot is badass. I'm a fan.
And that wasn't the only shot that people were taking a look at Ryu for.
Dude, he looks like he's out of a Kurosawa movie. That's so cool. But no, Steve, people were super amazed with the fact that they showed off a part of Ryu that nobody thought would happen. No, like we didn't think we were gonna see it at all. And I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. Let's see if I can get the shot. Oh, here it is. You ready?
We missed it.
Boom!
I am not ready. I am not ready.
Look at that. Look at that on the right, Steve. I think they're really showing who's boss in this shot here.
We are going to get so demonetized when we put this on YouTube.
What, Steve? We're talking about his shoulders. Actually, we're probably talking about his thighs. Let's be real. There is one other shot that also people have been going crazy for. And honestly, I kind of don't understand why people have been going so crazy for this shot. But you know what? To each their own, right? Steve, do you notice something here?
Those toes do not look like ideal toenails. They look like toenails that have been through some trials and tribulations.
But do you see something else in this shot, Steve? When was the last time you saw Ryu in sandals? The answer to that question is never. He has never worn footwear at all. Akuma's the one that usually wears sandals like this.
Well, we're talking about a modern day Ryu. He's the world is changing, and so many places are more conscious about health standards. So they strictly enforce no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Well, he doesn't have a shirt, and he's never worn shoes. And he doesn't need service. He's a wanderer, right? But either way, I think maybe he's just getting too old. His feet can't take it no more, right? He's like 60, 70 maybe. So we'll see what happens. But Steve, that's not the only thing people are pointing out. Also, first of all, I do want to point out one more thing because this has been something that people have been mentioning. With these shots of Luke and Ryu, I'm going to pull them up one more time. This shot of Luke, this shot of Ryu. A lot of people are theorizing that because they're different, we're going to get different grooves, right? I've seen a lot of people theorize that, right? Because Luke looks more like the stripes from Street Fighter V. Ryu looks more like the paint blotches from Street Fighter 4. That's BS. Stop theorizing that. Here's why. I'm going to pull up the trailer one more time. We're going to watch this trailer one more time because we need the 10-minute breakdown of a 30-second trailer.
How else are we going to get views?
Let's fast forward to this. So, you're seeing... I fast forwarded it a little too much. Let's see if we can get it here. Cool. You're seeing this. A lot of people are theorizing the stuff to the left of Luke because it's like paint splatter. It looks like Street Fighter V. And with Ryu, people are saying because this looks like paint brushing, it looks like Street Fighter 4. These are both the same thing. They're just different colors, right? So this doesn't prove that there's going to be grooves. This doesn't prove nothing. They're just using two different colors to set up the two characters. That's all there is to it. So stop it. If there are, this doesn't disprove that there will be grooves or not. This disproves the theory that people are saying these things prove that there will be grooves and stuff. So let's speculate on something better, shall we? Let's be more creative. It's one of those things where like you want it so bad you're starting to see it if you squint really hard. So let's all back out here.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with jumping to conclusions.
Of course there is. Only if there are breadcrumbs, Steve.
I feel like there are breadcrumbs there. I feel like that is a nice pickup, and it may not be that, but I don't think it's absurd to think that that's the way they're going to go. But who knows?
The other thing, too, is that was the one part in the trailer that I was skeptical about because we don't know if that's done in post or if that's done in engine because that could be done as a compositing thing or that could be done as an in-engine thing. We don't know. It could, like, as far as, like, the color changing like that might not even be, like, in the game at all. And they're just putting that in there just to show off some color, right? But that's all I have to say about that, I think.
Yeah. All we know for sure is that Street Fighter 6 will have Ryu and Luke in it. And beyond that,
there's been some rumors.
Ryu's packing. That's the only other thing we can confirm.
And we don't mean he's carrying a weapon. I mean he is carrying a weapon, but
it is a weapon.
Yeah.
I hope Sakura's in the game for completely unrelated reasons.
I saw that conversation you guys were having in Discord, and I couldn't help but just look away. Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's move on from this.
All right. The biggest complaint people have been having about this, and I think it's a good thing that people are complaining about this, right? We got this beautiful in-engine thing. We saw the direction they're taking. They could have gone back to a cartoony style, or they could have gone hyper-realistic. Of course, they're going to go hyper-realistic. Capcom has the Resident Evil, the RE engine, right? You're not going to like spend 50% of your or 20% of your revenue to license out Unreal Engine again when you have your own. So And the fact that other games have been using the RE engine, including Monster Hunter, the Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghosts and Goblins remake is on the RE engine, right? So this is a versatile engine. They're going to use it to the max. And we saw that they're using it for Street Fighter now. So again, not CGI. That's an engine. That's what the game's going to look like. Most likely. It's going to be good. However, at the very end of the trailer, we see what probably is the most lackluster logo we have ever seen for a Street Fighter game. Let me see. I don't think I have a picture of the logo itself, but let me get the trailer going. One more time. One more once, Steve. As Count Basie would say.
One more once.
Whoops. Boom. Look at that trailer, huh?
That is... I've seen so many jokes about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, it looks like you have 6 notifications.
Mm-hmm. I really do. They forgot to check their emails.
Please check your emails. Please charge your batteries. It just feels... It feels like they're going for something here, and I'm not sure that I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying this looks like the logo for an app that you see on your phone, and I can't help but agree with it.
Which, in and of itself, isn't necessarily the end of the world, because a lot of designs have been going in that direction. Make it flat, make it simple, make it readable in, a square visual space so that it's easily identifiable.
Mm-hmm.
This feels far too clean for a fighting game. This is a game that's violent. This is a game that's, you're throwing fireballs, you're throwing fists, you're throwing kicks. This doesn't look like anything along those lines, unless you're looking at the outline, the hexagon. Some people are speculating that it kind of looks like an MMA ring.
Well, MMA rings are usually octagons, but hexagon
right.
because
Well,
it's 6
we've
sides.
seen- yeah.
Street Fighter 6 sides, That's deliberate.
Allegedly. Like, for me, I feel like it feels very much... It's triggering games as service alarms for me. This feels like the feeling of a mobile app. It feels like I would not be surprised if they used a different delivery system for characters, or if they used a different business model for 6 compared to all the other games previously. That KI sort of style where the base game is free and they charge individually for fighters, and there's a rotating list of ones you can play for free. That's a possibility to me.
Yeah, and Steve, I've been saying that that's not a bad thing. I'm kind of hoping it goes in that direction,
I'm not I don't know how I feel about that. Because I am very much someone who, if the game's going to be $60,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy paying the $60 and having the full game. I understand that not everybody wants every character. I understand that they have to do different things to attract audiences now, because the way gaming works is changing. The way they budget titles is changing, so they have to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's my preference or not.
Here's the other thing too, Steve, and also Adamisu's asking if we're getting that from the logo. This is speculation, right? At the end of the day,
I'm getting that from the logo,
and I don't disagree.
Simply because it is so different from, besides my personal preference, which is I wished we had more elements of the old Street Fighter logos in there, like you've seen mock-ups all over the internet. I prefer those to this.
Yeah.
It just feels like a simple font. But I don't know. It just feels like there may be a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, other clues we've seen from other games, maybe that's leading me to that conclusion.
Yep. And here's the other thing. I think, much like what you were saying, they're going into the direction of games as a service. I think there's going to be app integration. I think we're going to be able to download a Street Fighter 6 app where we can see replays, we can see other things, etc., etc., etc. If you go into the Street Fighter website, the official Street Fighter website, which you saw in that countdown page, they have 3 games on there. And they have the Fighting Collection, Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 6. So my take is that they're finally doing something with the CFN, the Capcom Fighters Network, right? That's what they call the system in Street Fighter 5, where you can go see replays, you can add friends, you can follow players, all this other stuff. I think they're finally moving forward with that and doing a little bit more with it. Yeah, and I'm hoping that they implement the CFN not only in Street Fighter 6, but in other Capcom titles as well, right? Like, if they're doing more Darkstalkers, I would love to see, like, maybe we can do stuff in Darkstalkers that earns fight money. So like that, we can buy stuff in Darkstalkers or Street Fighter, right? Or we can see replays from Darkstalkers stuff, or we can see replays from Cyberbot stuff. Please, Cyberbots, we need a remake stat. But what I mean,
or maybe you can have your NFT character and use them in Darkstalkers and use them in Street Fighter. Oh my god, I feel so dirty for saying that.
All right, Steve is taking a break. Steve is no longer with us for right now. He had a momentary episode of delusion because he said the word. So anyway, what I'm saying is having the currency that Capcom has built up, right? This fight money, having that being useful across other games is not anything like any digital JPEGs. Thank you, Steve. It is more for the fact of unifying everything under the Capcom umbrella. And having the CFN groundwork that they already laid out, to me, would make perfect sense. And having that in an app would make even more sense. Imagine you're traveling and you're like, dang, I need to study up a matchup. Let me pull up the app, download a couple replays, and we're going to go in. Welcome back, Steve. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling a little bit better.
Okay.
I've been out of it today because I got wiped out by the booster. So I want to say there is one more alternate theory going around about the Street Fighter 6 logo.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just cheap. Because shortly after the trailer hit, several people went on to they did a search for stock logos, and several people found this particular logo from Adobe, which looks very, very similar to the Street Fighter 6 logo, available for purchase for $80 US. And we've seen, there's been some analysis of the logo. It's not exactly the same. I know Arich is one of the people who found it. I don't know if they were the only person who found it, but yeah, it's not exactly the same. It is possible that they simply used it as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
But that pissed off a lot of people. One, because they just don't like the logo anyway, and they feel like it doesn't really say Street Fighter. It's
Mm-hmm.
just an app, like for an esports team logo.
It really does look like that, yeah.
Right. But there's also this fear about lack of care, especially with launches. Because, let's not forget, Street Fighter 5 was very rough at launch. It eventually became a very good game. Street Fighter Cross Tekken was very rough at launch. And it eventually became a good game. The other one, the Capcom Infinite. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I can talk. See, I swear. that launched in a pretty rough state, and it got better as the game went along. There is a huge fear, and it's not unfounded, that it's going to be, whatever the new project is going to be, that we're going to have a launch that is substandard, and Capcom working on a wing and a prayer that they eventually get it to be in a good state. I don't know how much leeway the community is going to give them. I don't know how much leeway customers are going to give them.
Mm-hmm.
If it's another situation where it takes 2 years to get the game in a state where a lot of people say, okay, this is good now.
Yeah. Now, here's something to add to this. We've gotten a little bit of a hint as to who's working in this game. And unfortunately, I actually don't have it up. However, we've seen bits and pieces of people reaching out, being like, hey, I'm working on this. And we've gotten 2 very important names out of it, which I am saying this sentence so that I can kill enough time to pull it up. And where'd it go? Here we go. So we have Yusuke Hashimoto, who most of us know as the director of Bayonetta 2, is working as a game designer in Street Fighter 6. There are a couple of other people who have worked in Resident Evil. There are a couple of other people who have worked in Monster Hunter who are shifting over to the Street Fighter umbrella. This, I think, is huge because it means that Capcom is putting substantially more resources into this game as opposed to Street Fighter V, right? We remember Street Fighter V wouldn't have existed if Sony wasn't like, hey, make a game, make it exclusive, right? Yeah. So the fact that you have these big names from successful titles hopping over to Street Fighter, I think bodes well. And B, I don't think Capcom is dumb enough to shoot themselves in the foot a third time with bad launches, right? Especially in this fourth time. What was the third? Street Fighter V, Marvel vs. Capcom,
Cross Tekken.
Oh, Cross Tekken. Yeah. Granted, I feel like that was in a different time with different reasons of why it was bad.
Well, yeah, but those are the last 3 major fighting game launches that they've done.
True.
So it's not exactly distant past in this scenario.
Very true. But either way, I feel like Capcom throwing more resources at Street Fighter after the success of Street Fighter V, in spite of the shenanigans of launch, I think it bodes well. And at the end of the day, too, if they still are going to mess up this launch royally, if the game is free, I think there's going to be a little bit more leeway. Granted, I think everybody's going to be so jaded with Capcom launches that people are going to move on, especially now that games have more... Other fighting games have been receiving more attention than Capcom games, more than usual. Once Strive announced they had rollback, everybody kind of seemed to jump ship from Street Fighter to Strive for a little bit. King of Fighters announcing rollback. Everybody, maybe we're still in that honeymoon phase with King of Fighters, but everybody's out there grinding King of Fighters right now and Strive. I don't really hear a lot about people grinding Street Fighter V. And again, it could be just the thing that I'm not looking hard enough, but it's one of those things where now that other games are starting to become more competitive, I think Capcom is like, hey, we can't just coast through this one again. Let's really put our effort into it and make something good.
Yeah, the fighting game audience is not beholden to Capcom. Mm-hmm. It's not like them or nothing. We may be getting a new Mortal Kombat soon. By the way, Ed Boon is receiving an award from DICE later tonight. I don't think we're going to be hearing anything about any future projects at that point, but it's Ed Boon. It could happen at any time. Mm-hmm. He could just be walking through a grocery store and drop like, "Ooh, here's a clue."
I still
spelled
think
KLUE.
My favorite still is when he stepped out at the Game Awards and he's like, "Oh, let's give away the award for best sports game," and then they showed the the Mortal Kombat trailer and he goes, "Whoa, they played the wrong video." Like they revealed Mortal Kombat 11, he just goes, "Oh, I think they played the wrong trailer. Whoops." Stuff like that's pretty funny. Also, somebody mentioned a little earlier. I'm gonna scroll up in our chat here, so I can credit the person who said it. Gaelic Nord said that some years back, Capcom said that both Ryu and Chun would always be in the Street Fighter game because they're the most recognizable. That sounds true to me. That sounds good to me. You know, at the end of the day, when you think of Street Fighter, you think of Ryu, you think of Chun-Li, you think of Ken, maybe. But yeah, that makes sense to me, and I would be very surprised if... Has Chun-Li ever not been in a Street Fighter game? No, right? She's been in every one of them. Except for Street Fighter 2010. Because that was only Guile, I think.
Street Fighter 3 New Generation.
Oh, was she not in that?
She was not.
So she came in Second Impact? Or Third Strike?
It was just Ken and Ryu.
Interesting.
I think she did come in Second Impact.
Interesting. Well, I mean, look. New Generation didn't do all that well. All of a sudden, Chun-Li's in it. It's doing better. You know?
Third Strike. Sorry, it was Third Strike.
Oh, she came in Third Strike? And sure enough, Third Strike, everybody's like, you know, oh my god, it's Third Strike. But yeah. Anyway, all this said, the logo's been the big talking point about people being pissed on this Capcom trailer, which I think bodes well, right? Everything else looks pretty cool. Granted, there's not too much there's a lot of information, but there's also not a lot of information that we can take from the trailer. But personally, I'm excited to see a hyper-realistic Street Fighter, right? I'm cool with the direction they went in. A lot of people were hoping they were going to go the cartoony route. I'm cool with this. I can't wait to see what Mashing Jab looks like.
I personally prefer more cartoony stuff. I feel like if you don't get a realistic art style nailed down, it looks weird. I feel like you have a lot more freedom when you go with something a little more cartoony. And you know, in my mind, the perfect example of that is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 versus Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And you know, there were other issues with Infinite graphically, but I think a lot of people preferred the more comic book style. And, you know, I just hope the game is good. That's all I care about. I hope the game is good.
Agreed. And like I said, this is new territory for a lot of us, right? Like Best of 5 has not been around without Street Fighter 5. So we're finally moving on. I also remember a lot of people a couple years ago were like, "Oh, please bring on Street Fighter 6." We're finally getting there. I'm debating. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I was debating on not bringing this up, and probably should not bring this up, but I'll bring it up. But there's a rumor based on the leaked emails when Capcom had that hack a while back that one of the emails contained a launch schedule. One of them, one of the big things on there was Capcom 6, which people are saying was the code name for Street Fighter 6, coming out in Q3 of 2022, with new versions coming out in 2023 and 2024, I think. So, while we're at it, let's give a big what's up to Jay Wong for raiding the show. Lord Jay Wong.
Justin, hi. It's been a while since you've been on here. Let's talk. Let's make an interview happen.
I still have. So funny thing, I did an interview with Justin Wong that I have recorded, and there are some hilarious stories he told, and I'm still like working on getting everything nailed down so I can turn it into contact. Damn, some of the stories he told were, some of the things he said were. Can't wait to have that nailed down. Justin, thank you so much for the raid. What's up, everybody, from Justin Wong? We are Best of 5. We're a weekly FGC talk show where we talk about fighting games sometimes. Most of the time, we talk about pizza. We talk about Formula One.
Do we? Do we really?
Well, Formula One's testing started yesterday, Steve. We got to hop back on it. But
he's gone for the season. Well, before we lose everybody, did anyone watch the DBFZ announcement? Who did you watch it, Alon?
Oh, I did. Well, I didn't watch it. I saw somebody's reaction to it.
Oh man, it was an experience. First of all, I did not know there were any that many Dragon Ball games.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was they had the Battle Hour. They had the DBFZ competition going throughout the day, and then they did some awards and they did some looks at uh, upcoming DBFZ products and games. Um, Most of the time was spent on the upcoming DBFZ, the Dragon Ball movie, which looks pretty cool, like visually. I'm not a big Dragon Ball guy. I said it. But, it looked visually pretty cool. There was a lot of time spent on that. But a lot of the DBFZ fans were waiting for that, for the reveal of something. And then we went through, like, the updates coming to DBFZ card game, or Dragon Ball card game, Dragon Ball other card game, Dragon Ball slightly different card game. There's like 240 Dragon Ball card games. And then at the very end, the very last one they did was the update for DBFZ. And can you please hit us up with that?
All right, and we are gonna mute it because they don't like us using their music all the time. So yeah, this is the character people have been waiting for, and it is Lab Coat Android 21, which is different from Android 21 in the game currently, much like Goku and Goku. But here she is.
People are afraid of this character. People think that she is going to break the game because she's good at so many different things.
Wow, did you see whatever move that did beat that dive kick that Cell has? That's a pain in the ass. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately we can't play the audio. So, here's 21 versus Labcoat 21.
Eat that. Bada bang, bada bang, bada boom. She's going to protect those she cares about. And you are getting bodied.
Oh, she came out today. Okay.
She came out today.
Now on sale.
So you've got that. You've got that date. You knew that Lab Coat was coming. And we got a date. And then that was it. That was all.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. No word on Season Pass. No word on rollback. No word on anything else. A lot of people were really, really looking forward to something, anything juicy in terms of a DBFZ update. That did not come to pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people were really hoping to get rollback, especially because that's been a big point of pain for DBFC these past couple of years with the new state of the world. And literally, the thing I saw was that they said, we're working to make the game better. And then they walked off the stage, and that was it. Yeah, so...
Here's Lab Coat. The game's better. Deuces.
And you know what? I saw Justin said she kind of looks the same with moves in Super. I kind of agree, but I also don't play DBFC all that much, so I can definitely see it might be one of those things where the people who know to look for the details can see the details. But yeah. I mean, they got a character, right?
They got a character that they knew was coming already.
Yep. Well, yeah, and it came out today.
It feels like this is it in terms of major updates. Like, if you weren't going to hear anything, not even like the hint of something coming down the pipe
mm-hmm.
for, during the Dragon Ball Fighting Hour, that was 80% Dragon Ball FighterZ content. I feel like the game you got is the game you got.
Yep.
And
it's rough.
It's rough. It's rough to compete when you don't have rollback.
Mm-hmm.
Because after everything that's happened the last year and a half, not having that is a non-starter for so many people. Like, I've heard when we talked about Phantom Breaker, even before that whole thing with the reading is a fundamental skill trailer,
I forgot
the
about
game
that.
didn't have rollback, and so many people are like, "I'm done, not wasting
Yeah.
my time."
Yeah. I mean,
So
there's a part of me that's happy that that's a point of pay now, right? Because it's one of those things where it lets developers know work on the netcode so we can have fun, and we're not going to tolerate subpar shenanigans anymore. Which hopefully means we're going to get better stuff in the future.
your shenanigans need to be at least on par,
Yes,
very
absolutely.
least.
One of the games that DBFZ is currently competing with is the brand new King of Fighters 15, which came out last week. To rave reviews, everybody's been having a blast with it. The netcode seems to be pretty okay. People are grinding it out, having a good old time. Then all of a sudden, UnrealEngine.com had a thing. What's the
Yeah.
what's the thing?
Well, out of nowhere, SNK came out with a tweet that said, "quote." It included a link to this interview that was done by UnrealEngine.com, but they said, "quote Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters 15, and an unnamed future game all run on Unreal Engine." And then that linked to an interview done by Brian Crescente for the website, talking with several people involved with SNK, including Yasuyuki Oda, who is the producer of King of Fighters 15. And they asked, "What are your future plans for Unreal Engine? Will we see other SNK titles shift over to the engine in the future?" And Oda responded, "We're currently testing a new game in the works that will be using Unreal Engine. So I can say that it's a strong possibility in the future." End quote. That is one of the most unique ways I've ever heard a company hint at a new game.
They're
So
currently testing, they say.
they're currently testing, not ready to announce, but it feels like even if they didn't want to put the hint out there, they wouldn't have put that unnamed title in the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
They would have just said Sam Show and KOF 15, and then say, "Hey, we're currently testing something. We're not really committing to anything."
Mm-hmm.
It just seems so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, there might be something else that SNK is cooking.
Weird flex, but okay, right? Isn't that what the kids say? Or is that away with now? Is that old? So here's the thing. A lot of people have been saying, oh, it's going to be X game or it's going to be Y game. Look, I would not be surprised if this is just SNK Heroines 2 or something. I think we need to temper expectations a little bit because we have a lot of people saying Last Blade, World Heroes, SNK versus Capcom. It could be, right? It could be, but again,
Yeah.
what if it's like, like Fatal Fury remake?
Could
That
be
would be pretty
Fatal
cool.
Fury.
That would be pretty cool though.
It could be World Heroes. It could be, I would not exclude the idea of SVC in there because we have seen Capcom much more willing to work with other companies.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen SNK much more willing to work with other companies. We saw the Capcom and SNK working together with the crossover for KOF All Stars that they promoted during the CPT Final.
Yep.
So, if you're making me pick a fighting game, I'm honestly going SVC as my guess.
Here's the thing too. So your guess is SVC. I'm seeing actually zero faith with Metal Slug. I would love a new Metal Slug. I'm a big Metal Slug fan. But John C. said Garo 2 would be nice. With Team Garo in King of Fighters? Is that a hint? Could be. It could be literally anything. It could be literally anything. If it's a Metal Slug, I'll be happy. I'm a big Metal Slug fan.
Let me throw one more out there for you.
A pachinko game?
No. Oh God, not another pachinko game. Neo Turf Masters.
The tennis game?
No, the golf game.
Oh, the golf game. Oh,
let's
man.
make a whole new game for Giuna and Giuna only. The entire audience of that game is one guy.
Although honestly, like having a golf game to compete with everybody's golf I'm not against it, or Mario's golf. I'm for it, to be honest.
I am looking forward to the next Everybody's Golf.
Me too. That game was fun.
I am a Hot Shots Golf guy.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
All the way back to Hot Shots Golf 2.
My first Hot Shots Golf experience was on the PSP.
No, my first Hot Shots Golf experience was, do you remember the PlayStation Underground demo discs?
Mm-hmm. I think I might have played the exact one you're thinking of.
You get like 3 holes to play.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, okay.
Dude, those discs were so cool. Right? You got like game trailers, you got game demos. That was sick. I miss those.
Man, I think I got that game from a corner game shop that wasn't too far from my house. It was the type of store that sold the games in weird packages.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you brought in your own game, they'd pay you $10 to let them borrow it for a little bit. I didn't put 2 and 2 together on that for a little while.
Okay. Also, Zero Star with the big resub, 20 months. Thank you. All right, Steve, we've officially gone off the deep end here because we're talking about everybody's golf and Hot Shots golf. So I believe...
But
oh, go ahead.
There's one more thing I did want to make, and it's actually along the lines of Zero Star subscribing, because anytime anyone who subscribes to us, anyone who supports us, it really, we really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart, first of all. Second of all, it helps us do different things with the show. And we I don't know if you want to show it off a lot.
I'm working on it. Hold on. All right, here we are. So thanks to all of your generosities, and we had Rick on the show here last week. We are going to try to do a show at Combo Breaker this year. We're going to try our best, and these came in the mail thanks to your guys' support. These are very, very good, very, very professional mobile microphones. So if you're going to Combo Breaker, we'll most likely be there Thursday night trying to do a show.
We don't know exactly how it's going to work out.
We're still figuring it out. But
yeah, we want to have fun. We want to do this big.
Yeah, and thanks to all of your support, we were able to get 2 of these, one for me, one for Steve. We have a mobile mixer that's coming in soon, so we're making big moves with your help. So thanks everybody for subbing, for hanging out, for everything that you all do for us. And you know what? Honestly, even if you don't subscribe, if you don't do anything, if you're just here with us, that means the world to us, because time is a currency of which we need to be careful of. And the fact that you're choosing to spend it with us means a lot to us. Speaking of currency, That Mean Scene has now gifted 5 tier 1 subs for Best of V Show. Thank you. That Mean Scene. That's that big support. The golf clap is what you get. Yeah. Cool. So, Steve, did we have anything else we wanted to cover while I try to put this microphone away?
Do you have... I don't know if you have it queued up. Do you have the video from last week?
Which one? I just deleted all of them, so probably not. Right before the show, I just deleted all of them.
Blazing Strike?
Oh, yeah, I don't have it. Sorry. We can. Let's do it next week.
Okay. So next week we'll talk about the Blazing Strike trailer that
Mhm.
got announced during All Access last week. We
Mhm.
ran out of time to talk about that. Um, how are you doing? Because things are getting a little wild right now.
Yeah, look, here's the thing, right? We say this every once in a while, and I think this is a good, important time to say it. Take care of your mental health. And I say that because with everything going on in the external world, that seems to have taken a much larger effect on myself than I thought. Right, to the point where we almost didn't do the show. So sorry, had to do a snipe here. The rare BOV snipe. But with everything going on, I do want to say for everybody that's out in Russia/Ukraine, if for some miracle you're hearing what we're saying right now, take care, stay safe. It sucks that the people with egos are in power and causing misery for all of us. But please stay safe. Do the best that you can to stay with us, and we'll hopefully make it out through the other side of this, being better people. Misery is the word. Yeah, that is true. So it sucks. This is the world we live in with everything going on already. Now there's more shenanigans just because the people in power are stupid. But that's all I got. Steve, do you have any other words that you would like to say?
Not really. Beyond just thank you for everyone who supports us in some way, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's subscribing, whether it's retweeting us, spending some time in here in chat. We do appreciate it. We love you guys. We thank you guys. Um, and yeah, it's been a week. It's been a couple weeks for reasons both professional and personal. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that I've been able to spend some of this week with you a lot.
Same. And I'm
So
glad we got to spend some of this week. I got to spend some of this week with you and with everybody in the chat. First of all, before we even go any further, big shout out to Justin Wong for the big raid. Everybody that came in from Justin's chat, let me just say hi, will you? Put in like a smiley face in the chat. We appreciate you guys stopping in, hanging out with us. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody who's following, who's subscribed. Like I said, we hella appreciate all of y'all. We're big fans of y'all, and we're happy to have you guys here with us. 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time. Thank you, Fugu. Doc Fugu's still hanging out with us. Yeah.
telling you, if you want to follow anything that's going on in the Japanese FGC, Doc Fugu
Hell yeah.
is the guy.
For sure. Yeah, but we're on
Yeah.
we're on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Best of V Show. Follow us on there. These episodes go to YouTube, and we're going to start putting more content up on YouTube. We have a Discord if you want to come hang out on Discord with us and talk shop. We were talking crap about the Street Fighter logo and the Street Fighter reveal on Sunday. It was very fun. YouTube link is www.youtube.com/Best of V Show.
Yes.
Yes.
So
We
we're
need to-
we're
yeah.
Best of V Show on YouTube, on SoundCloud if you want to just listen. We're on Spotify. We're Best of V Show on SoundCloud. Spotify, we're on there. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, pretty much every major podcast platform. All you got to do is search for Best of V on those.
Nice. All right, we've done enough plugging, I think.
Not yet, because
No? Are you putting the Discord link?
I'm putting the Discord link
Hell yeah.
in chat. There's Discord link.
Yeah, come talk smack with us. It's fun. While Steve is doing this, let's go for realsies. Sign off. My name is Elon. You can see my social media information over here. This here is my trusty co-host, the last remaining co-host of Best of Five. Steve Ace King Offsuit Jurek, the schedule maker.
I'm like Highlander. There can be only one.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Stick around. I'm sure I can find somebody to raid for us to send you to. We'll send the love over to somebody else in the FGC.
Spooky.
Spooky's on? All right, we're going to go to Spooky. We're going to go raid Spooky. Let me do that while we're here. Let's see if I got this. /raid team SP00KY.
Yep. Before, let me say my line. Good night, Canada.